Hey everybody, it's Christine. Welcome back to my channel. It's my week, or wrap-up week, day, long weekend. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I had a rough day yesterday. I ended up making 3 pairs of doll slippers, and I was really happy that I got them finished because they're fiddly, and I screwed up. I did not do the twists right. So I have to make 3 more pairs, which means 3 more pairs of pajamas to match, so that kind of threw me off. Yeah, and then my mom, I have to bring her to an appointment today. If you've been following me for a while, you might know my mom has got, her brain is shrinking. They said they can't treat it, or they can't treat it yet, but they want her to get a second opinion. So I think today we find out if we have to go down to Hamilton or not. So that's kind of put me off a little bit. But onto the books I read. First book I finished was Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I liked it to a point. I think I gave it a 4. I really did not like Maxim. I really did not like Mrs. Danvers. And it was like a 3 until the little twists. And I seen those twists coming, but just a couple of pages beforehand. And it's about a man who marries a new woman, brings her back to Manderley, and everybody says how she is so much different from Rebecca, the first Mrs. De Winter. And, well, Mrs. De Winter wouldn't do that. Mrs. De Winter wouldn't do that. She does it this way. And I kept wanting to tell them, shut the hell up. You know, the new Mrs. De Winter likes to do things differently. And she was such a meek girl, and it's just, I don't know. It was still a good book. It was a page turner. But there are a few things that just drove me bonkers about it. And with the plot twist, he admits something and she just, falls over in love with him. It's like, really? Really? So, yeah, no. But it was still good. The second book I read, which was turning into a 2-star because of the first half of it, and then it turned into a 3-star, and that was Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, and this was for my 52 and 52. And it was read a book that you've watched the movie first. And if you've seen the movie, you know Brad Pitt just mumbles everything. And I don't remember much about it except for that he's a fighter and he mumbles everything. And this really didn't talk about the fighting as much. This was not what I was expecting at all from this book. But the first part of it, I struggled through it, and then something happened. I can't remember, about halfway through. And then it started picking up and making sense. But the first little bit, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It was all over the place, and it was weird. But it's about these 2 guys that start a fight club because they're bored with their lives. Yeah, I can't really say too much more about that, I think, because it's out there. It really is out there. So yeah, I gave it a 3. And then the next one was for 52 and 52, and it was Rita Classic that's under 200 pages. So I picked up The Great Gatsby, and I was thinking it was going to be a book about this egotistical man with money who's just flaunting everything, and it really wasn't. I was surprised. I gave it a 4. I flew through it. In fact, Fight Club I read Friday. This I read on Saturday. So yeah, but it starts off with this man moving to West Egg and moving next door to Jay Gatsby, and there's a history between Nick Carraway and his cousin Daisy with Jay Gatsby. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. Yeah, I gave it a 4, and I really enjoyed it. So those are the 3 books that I finished this week. Now, currently I am reading The Dutiful Rake by Elizabeth Rolls, and this is about a earl whose cousin dies and leaves him his estate, and he has to go and deal with it because the guy was a penny pincher and wouldn't even heat the house and wouldn't pay his servants. And one of the servants, like the housekeeper, not the housekeeper, I don't know what she would be considered, but when he shows up, she's really sick, and they wouldn't even pay. The former owner would not even pay for a doctor to help. So he kind of takes over and helps her. And because he's got this nasty reputation, he ends up marrying her because he needs kids to continue the line. So yeah, that's about as far as I've gotten so far. There's a couple of twists and turns, as usual. It's a Harlequin historical. One of my favorite things. So yeah. And tonight I'm going to be reading this one out loud, and it's one of my childhood favorite books. And I'm going to be reading it to my son, and that is Pippi Longstocking. He's kind of hesitant. He thinks it's a girl book, and I told him that it's really actually quite funny. So we're going to read 1 to 2 chapters a night, and then he's going to read his other book. So that was our compromise, that I read a little bit to him, he reads the book that he wants to read. And yeah. So other than that, I don't know what else I'm going to be picking up. We have to go to the library tomorrow, and some of my books I don't think can be renewed. But once I do that, I will do a new video of my currently checked out books. But I might pick up Gray, I might pick up Gemina, Gemina. I don't know. I'm kind of in one of those moods where I want to read, but I don't know what I want to read, but I know what I don't want to read. If that makes sense. Yeah. So, I'm in one of those moods. So let me know what you're reading, what you guys do to get out of these kind of funky moods. I'm not in a slump. I don't get in slumps. I get into weird moods where I want to be doing this and I want to be doing that, but I can't get the energy to do them. Like with my sewing, I want to be sewing, but this little glitch kind of pushes me back to, well, I want to be sewing something else, but I have to sew this first. And reading, I want to read these, but I want to read these ones first. So yeah, let me know what you guys have read or finished this week. And I'd never celebrated this before, but I've reached 400 subscribers over the weekend. So thank you very much for staying tuned and clicking that subscribe button, and it means a lot, actually. Hope everybody has an awesome week, and I'll see you later.